Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Plain Not Jane. I am Plain Not Jane, and you, my friend, have tuned into this week's 7. This week's 7 is a video series highlighting lessons learned and observations made in my life over the last 7 days. And this week's 7 starts now. Number 1, I have no idea how people manage to keep their homes clean. Like, I'm scrolling on Facebook and people posting candid, candid, we're going to talk about that one later. But I'm scrolling on Facebook, people posting candid photos from inside their homes. And, you know, I'm looking because I'm like always looking for an idea. Like, hey, she might have some kitchen towels that I like, or they might have a furniture arrangement that works for me. And people's homes are so clean. And then on Instagram, people's houses are, their bedrooms are neat and clean, their living rooms, the kids' rooms, the bathrooms, everywhere is so neat and so clean. And my house is just not like that. Like, I clean constantly. Like, I clean a room nearly every day. Some days I don't because I'm just tired. But most days I clean at least one room. And I just cannot keep this house clean. But I will say this, in my own defense, we are a family of 6. But only one member of this family cleans on a regular basis. So yeah, that might be the problem. And I will admit, my husband has really stepped up to the plate here lately. I've been expressing to him how stressed the messes make me, so he has really been chipping in to help, and it is appreciated. But even with the 2 of us, it still isn't enough. I'm at the point now, I'm kind of old school. I don't want no strangers in my house, messing with my personal effects and things. But I really am considering a maid service at this point. Number 2, stay ready. Recently, I reread the story about Joseph. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, wound up in prison, and while he was in prison, he encountered 2 fellow prisoners who had dreams. Joseph interpreted the dreams for the fellow inmates. One of them came to a not so good end. The other one, the cupbearer, was actually restored to his previous position. Joseph only asked that he remember him. He asked the cupbearer to remember him when he went back to his position with Pharaoh. Well, the cupbearer actually kind of forgot about Joseph. It was 2 whole years before the cupbearer remembered to remember Joseph. But at that point in time, he told Pharaoh, hey, I know somebody that can interpret dreams. He interpreted a dream for me and was spot on. And at that point, that's when Pharaoh requested Joseph. Joseph was rushed from the prison to Pharaoh's presence. And, the rest is history. You can check it out in Genesis. Yeah. But in reading that story, I kept hearing in my head, stay ready. When Joseph was in that prison, those 2 additional years after the cupbearer had been restored, he could have very easily gotten discouraged. He could have given up. He could have decided, you know what, I'm done. God has found somebody else to fulfill this purpose. He's forgotten about me. But instead, Joseph stayed ready. Matter of fact, it says that when Pharaoh requested him, that they came and rushed Joseph to Pharaoh. But even though he was being rushed, he still found time to change his clothes and to cut his hair. Joseph was ready. Like, he didn't waste his time talking about, no, I'm not going, what do you want me for? I told him 2 years ago about me. He didn't waste his time with all of that stuff. He got where he needed to be quickly and was effective when he got there. So here's my message to you. If you're in that 2-year frame, it doesn't have to necessarily be actually 2 years, but if you're in that holding pattern, Stay ready. Continue to hone your craft. If you're a singer, continue to perfect your voice. If you're a writer, continue to perfect your writing. If you're a builder, a teacher, a doctor, whatever the case may be, whatever your dreams or your goals are, while you're in that holding pattern, continue to hone your craft, continue to practice. Don't get discouraged, and make sure that when the opportunity comes for you to have an audience with Pharaoh, that you're ready. Stay ready. Number 3, more on my cooking conundrum. So I mentioned a few weeks ago that I hated cooking, and then 2 weeks ago I mentioned that I've lost my ability to cook because I hate cooking. Well, I have figured out one reason why I have been struggling in the cooking department. Usually I start cooking dinner around 4 o'clock. Let me describe my household at that time. 4 o'clock, the kid has gotten in from school, and she's usually doing homework, or so she says. Basically, she's locked away in her cabinet's room and is unavailable. Also, at about that same time, my husband is still asleep. He's a night worker, so he's a day sleeper. He's still asleep at 4. So it's just me and the dynamic duo. Now, I know a lot of moms with capes and crap will say, well, I cook all the time with my 2 children. Well, you know what? Your 2 children are not my 2 children. My 2 kids are not going to sit and play quietly as mommy cooks dinner. The baby is going to want my attention, and YM is going to need me to watch him. Because this dude is into everything these days, which is a whole nother issue. So I'm unable to give my attention and time to cook a decent meal, which is why I wind up messing up stuff. So now that I've narrowed it down to one of the reasons why my cooking has suffered, now I have to find a solution. I can either move dinner to an earlier time, which would almost be impossible. Yeah, but maybe during the summer I can move it to an earlier time. I don't know. Or I can move dinner to a later time, which would mean I have to revamp our entire nighttime routine, which might be my best option. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out, but I'll be working on that, and as soon as I have some results, I'll definitely share. Number 4, minimalist update. It's not going so well. I've purged my closet. I've purged, what else? I've purged my craft room. I've gotten rid of a bunch of clutter. I've like gone through the house, raking up stuff that we don't use regularly and gotten rid of it. But it seems the faster I get rid of stuff, the faster stuff shows up. And I know it's not because I'm buying new stuff. I have not bought any new junk in quite some time. I've cut back on buying project pieces. I have cut back on buying clothes just because I like it. Like, I've cut down on my spending a lot. But it's like as soon as I get one layer of stuff out the way, another layer rises up to the surface and multiplies. So I think I need to do another purge. We might be one of those families that needs to purge every 3 months as opposed to once or twice a year. So I'm gonna do another major purge in a couple of weeks, and hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the clutter. I don't know, we'll see. Number 5. So I have to admit that I am a Cardi B fan. Like, I fell in love with this girl when she was on Love and Hip Hop. I thought she was hilarious. I thought she was funny. I thought she was sincere. She has always come across the TV screen as a real sincere, as a very sincere person. Like, she seems like the type of person that what you see on TV, the and all of that, like that would be her at Christmas time at the dinner table. It just seems like that's just her genuine personality. And I'm always happy to hear of anyone who has pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and made it happen. Like, she is like the bomb, like the ish right now. But also along with the money and the fame comes the attacks and comes the lack of privacy. And in seeing all of these things that have happened to her just in the last few months, people have just been coming for her. Like, it seems like people are just coming for her because it's Tuesday and they have nothing else to do. But seeing all of these things happen to her, it has made me so grateful for not being famous. I am just so glad that I am just, to use one of her phrases, a regular smegular chick from the South, and I don't have to be concerned with paparazzi. I don't have to worry about people sliding in my husband's DMs or faking a pregnancy or anything like that. I can go to the store and shop and nobody's asking me for an autograph or to take a picture with them. I say all that to say this: I am very grateful and thankful for the freedom and the privacy that comes with anonymity. Number 6. Why are shorts so short? I have had a time and a half finding shorts for myself and the girls this summer. Now, I have managed to find a few affordable pair of shorts for me that were decent length. Matter of fact, I have on a pair now. I think they're okay as long as I keep doing squats. I'm straight. But I have had a difficult time finding shorts for the girls. And see, the thing is, they're not running around in shorts with their cheeks hanging out. That's just not gonna fly. And I'm also not spending an arm and a leg on a piece of clothing. That's not happening either. So this is how it usually goes. If they're affordable, the girls don't like them. If the girls like them, they're too short. If the girls like them and they're not too short, they're not affordable. You see how that's panning out? So I have decided to give it one more week. If at the end of this 7-day period, I still have not found appropriately long shorts for the girls, I'm grabbing jeans off the clearance rack and we just gonna cut them jokers up. And finally, number 7. Last week, I did make a video, so I missed doing a Mother's Day shout out. So this week, I'm going to do it. Number 7 is dedicated to none other than my mama. Mama, thank you for not leaving me at a fire station in a grocery bag when I was a baby. Thank you for putting up with the teenage version of me. I have come to realize that she may not have been the easiest person to get along with. Thank you for being such a great nana to all of these kids that I have. Thank you for helping me to raise the kid, even when I didn't know what I was doing. You were always an ever-present backup, but you still left me enough room to do what I thought was best for her. Thank you for loving BB. Thank you for loving BB the way that I love her. You've always, you have always treated her like she was our flesh and blood, and I really love you for that. Thank you for not being afraid of the dynamic duo, because to be honest, they scare just about everybody. For being there when I have messed up and been there with a loving hug and not a I told you so. For letting me spread my wings and make mistakes, but still letting me come back to the nest when I crashed and burned. Thank you for teaching me how to mix lotion and Vaseline or baby oil together so my legs will be shiny in the summertime. For combing all of this thick hair when I was a child and not snatching out my edges. Thank you for teaching me beauty shop etiquette early in life, for teaching me how to put on lipstick, blush, and how to wear pantyhose and slips. And thank you for being my mom and my friend. Alright, that's been this week's 7. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a good old thumbs up. And if you didn't, keep on going and don't come back. Also, make sure you click below to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this week's 7, DIY projects, cooking videos, and good old family foolery. Also, make sure you support me on patreon.com/plainnotjane. By supporting me on patreon.com, you not only help ensure that this channel continues, you will also get access to patron-only content. So until next time, go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. Be safe. Bye-bye. Tight. Okay. Don't break a nail. I shan't be defeated. There we go. Oh.